Blah 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 blah.
I'm speechless.
Oh, this is so fun. I love what you guys are doing. This is just so cool.
This is The Studio, brought to you by the Slow Arc Foundation, connecting Cal Poly architecture through entertainment, news, and scholarships since 2009. This is the home of Cal Poly students, alumni, faculty, and friends, where we discuss all things architecture, Cal Poly, and everything in between.
Hey guys, welcome to the studio show 124. How is everyone tonight?
Super
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've got a full panel, a full group today. We got all the hosts. We've got the illustrious, the globetrotting, the world-renowned Haley Gipe sitting in front of her wall of plates.
woo woo.
And of course, we've got our resident design reviewer Q Kim, and our soon-to-be graduate of Cal Poly, Carly Althoff.
Oh my god.
So welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
So there is a whole lot of stuff that's happened with everyone these last couple weeks. Haley, let's start with you. Where have you been recently?
In Atlanta for the AI National Convention.
Yeah, so tell us about that. What's the news out of Atlanta?
Well, the robot revolution has officially started.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a really great convention. Former President Bill Clinton was one of the keynote speakers, so that was exciting. We had our
So just real quick, I
hat.
saw on Facebook you had a picture with CeeLo, what's his name?
Yeah,
CeeLo Green?
I know, right?
Thank you.
CeeLo Green.
Did you get a picture with Bill Clinton?
I did not get a picture with Bill Clinton. I tried, but Secret Service did not appreciate me hanging around. So, no, we just happened to see CeeLo in the hotel as we were leaving one evening, so we snapped a picture with him. He was not there for the convention at all. He was
Oh, really?
in the
I thought he
I know.
performed or something.
No. He was in the hotel for a fundraiser that they were having upstairs, and we just happened to cross paths with him and took a picture. But yeah, it was a great convention. I think there were 17 to 18,000 registered attendees, and the rumor is that the Bill Clinton session, there was 6,000 people, I think, in attendance. I think. And, of course, we had our huge expo floor, so lots of great vendors and products and manufacturer reps. It was jam-packed this year. Lots of tours of Atlanta, historical tours, architectural tours, walking tours, bus tours. What else? There were the kind of ceremony of the gold medal recipient, 25-year award, and the Topaz Medallion, so on and so forth. So lots of ceremony for the various award winners, the Young Architects Award winners, the Associate Award winners, and then of course we had our national elections for office.
Yeah, I saw a
and
picture of you giving your speech. How did that go?
it went very well. While I
Awesome.
was not elected into office, the
Oh.
experience
Oh, no.
was very memorable.
I've been looking
and-
online to try to find the election results. Like from the day I knew you were giving your speech, I've been like every day trying to find results, but for some reason.
Oh,
I
they
can't find
posted it on Friday in Architect, like the Architect magazine
Oh.
news blurb that went out in people's email streams. And then Saturday morning was the annual business session, so all the delegates report to duty and vote on bylaws amendments and resolutions for the board to investigate for potential bylaws amendments. So it was a jam-packed week.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
maybe just now catching up on sleep. starting to feel a little bit better. I'm still really not my normal energetic self, but it was good. It was a really good week. It was a great convention. And next year it will be in Philadelphia.
So are you going to run for office again, or are you throwing in the towel and you're done?
I don't know. We'll see. I did start the hashtag Haley for president, so we'll see.
Nice. Very good.
I got to finish my exams.
So do you have any
in order.
clue? Oh, you can't be an associate AIA member to be president?
No.
Yeah. So do you know how close the election was, or was it just just these people were elected and that was it?
No, we don't know how close. The numbers are not released.
No.
So
you could have lost by 1,000 votes. You could have lost by 2 votes. You just don't know.
I don't know. But you know what, Tim? I'm a winner regardless.
That's right.
Very nice.
Yeah. No, I just tried to have a good attitude about it, and just running was really important to send, a message to other associates that it's possible, and just to create the conversation of associate members serving as a leader in that capacity. So,
Yeah.
for all of
Definitely.
those reasons, I think I was very successful.
Well, good job. We're proud of you.
Thanks.
And then, Carly, you've had a busy week as well.
Yeah.
I should mention, Haley has a birthday coming up this Friday, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Woohoo!
And then Carly had a birthday last Saturday?
Saturday.
Yes. So you had a
Wow.
birthday, plus you had a big show, right?
Yeah. The show came first, and so that was quite the relief because on my birthday I could relax as much as I wanted, which I did.
Good. And how'd the show go? What was the result?
It was a really great show and a good turnout, and we got so much positive feedback from people who came. We served chili and nachos
Nice.
with our snack, and it was a really dynamic display, and I thought pretty engaging for people who came in and experienced the exhibition. And I was proud of my project, so I liked to hang around and watch people watch my show, my everything. So it was fun just to see what other people think and get feedback from students.
Awesome. Now, I thought you guys had an Ocean's 11 theme or something along those lines.
It was kind of the theme of our poster. It was it's a mashup of like the Ocean's 11, Battlefield, Secret Agent kind of thing. We were playing Ocean's 11 like soundtrack in the background throughout the show, so it was kind of along those lines. So kind of intense.
Okay, I was just wondering how the chili fit into that theme, but if it was just the poster theme and not the whole show theme, then that makes sense.
Yeah, we're going for the eclectic kind of overall.
And did you use the Star Wars profile pics anywhere in the show?
We're using those for our publication, the overall like thesis 5th year like publication that they have at Chumash, or like take from all of the studios. So hopefully that booklet will include our Star Wars Photoshop works.
Nice. Awesome. And how about you, Q? What have you been up to?
Just the usual. A lot of busyness at work, and also board meetings, and have another board meeting this week, and just a lot of stuff going on, and the economy only seems to be getting better, and I guess that's good news for us to keep us busy. And but I'm looking forward to this weekend where Tim and I, and of course Carly will be there. We'll head down to Chumash. So I'm really looking forward to this weekend and totally getting excited. Have seen my Instagram feed of Cal Poly professors and students start posting pictures, and just really looking forward to the weekend.
That's a great segue to our first story here. Cal Poly's architecture thesis show coming up this Saturday and Sunday. And Carly, do you want to talk to us
where does this mashed come from? Do you know the origins of that?
Well, it started out as a fifth-year wide poll between a few different options that the committee of students and professors had kind of decided on a handful of names to like what to call our Shumash show. And long story short, none of those choices were chosen, and somebody brought up the idea of mashed, and I don't know where like the whole apostrophe like mash thing came from, but that was kind of a last minute thing, I think. But it worked out, and some people had their input, and most of us just kind of sat back and said, "Do what you want."
Got it.
Sounds good to me.
Now, Haley, now are you on the Chumash? What's it called? Panel, group, organizing board,
Committee.
committee. That's the word. Thanks. Yes,
No,
Carly.
I'm not in charge. I didn't volunteer. Those brave souls.
Right.
They had a lot of work. A lot of things went into that, but I didn't.
Haley, you were on the Chumash committee back in the day, weren't you?
Yeah, sorry, my computer froze. I couldn't hear you. Yes, back in the day. I am not on the committee now, though.
Okay, that would make sense. You're not graduating this year.
Yes. One thing
Thankfully.
I'm not doing.
Yes, you're done with that. So the show is, I'm sorry, Saturday and Sunday. 3 p.m. is the opening on Saturday, and it goes till 8 p.m. And then on Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So come on, check it out. Chumash Auditorium. Oh, and we skipped one story. So I got an email this week saying we had a new Facebook fan, Zach Bach, or Bake, or Bachi. Bache. I'm so sorry, Zach.
Probably Bob.
I don't know how to say your name, but thank you for fanning us. And he actually knows some of us, I believe. He's got some mutual friends with me, at least.
I sit next to him in studio.
Aha!
That's right. So how
There
do
you
you say his
go.
name? How do you say his name, Carly?
Don't ask me. I don't call him by his last name.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Well, you can ask him tomorrow and then correct us.
I will ask.
You mean you're not in studio right now?
Nope. I'm staying out of there. I spent enough time there last week.
Well, that explains a whole lot his Facebook picture currently. So here is another one of these Star Wars mashup profile pics. So
That's funny.
there you go.
Yeah, he's a
But
funny
thanks,
guy.
Zach. Yeah, right on. Thanks
Yeah.
for liking us, I think.
Maybe you can tell. Maybe Zach can tell us where he got his cool lightsaber from, because I'd like one.
Uh-oh. Let's see. I lost my show notes page. Where'd it go? Oh, whew. This whole show just about derailed. Okay, so back to Cal Poly news.
Hey, before you go on, I will mention that
Yeah.
there was a Cal Poly alumni reception convention,
Oh, how was that?
and yeah, it was good. Saw Christine and saw Tom DeSanto and Margot McDonald, of course, and a few other faculty members, and made a few connections and got a few cards. So hopefully, it will lead to a few guests on the show. But it was really great to see everybody.
Awesome. Very good.
So great turnout and great job to Christine and Margot for putting it on, and Natalie. So shout
Yeah,
out.
I got the emails inviting me to come to that, but I was in the wrong state, so it just didn't work out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
will happen.
oh, so I did want to talk also, since we're talking about things that are happening around town. Carly, have you gone to any of the other fifth-year shows? Can you talk at all about what other studios have done?
I've gone to a couple of them, yeah. Well, last Friday was a really, really exciting exhibition by Doug Jackson's studio called Striptease, and that was just this big interactive screen with almost like technological things that like really showcased the projects well, and it was very unique. And
Sounds
then,
controversial.
Yeah, a lot of the names for the shows have been kind of along the lines of like kind of risque topics. And but on yesterday, were a couple of other shows. Sandy Stannard and Jonathan Foote's studio had their shows, and they're continuing through this week. A few other studios. So it's been really cool seeing the diversity of the different projects and how different studios approach their exhibition style and project style. So I've been really inspired.
Yeah, I remember that last week of my 5th year, seeing all those shows. Like, I really wanted to do my 5th year over again.
Really?
Because seeing all those projects, I was like, oh man, I could have done better. You know?
Aw. You gotta be proud of what you did.
Yes.
Time.
Yeah, I didn't have all the little sticky notes and little things that Haley had, so that's really what I wanted. I needed more sticky notes.
Don't make fun of my methods.
Never. So, so commencement is coming up June 13th, and Carly, I'm guessing you're going to be at that. Are you decorating your cap at all?
I'm hoping to. I think that will have a little bit to do with my plans after graduation, so I'm holding off on that for a little bit. But
any news on that front yet?
Still not a lot of news to work with, so I'm madly hunting for jobs as we speak, and meanwhile waiting on some emails. So I'll get back to you when I hear something.
Very cool. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
So either way, though, you're graduating 9 a.m. Spano Stadium, Saturday, June 13th. Tickets are in demand. We will be thinking of you.
Pick up my cap and gown tomorrow.
Exciting stuff. So moving on from the exciting, happy stuff to something that's not so exciting and happy. Our Cal Poly professors aren't getting paid. So there was a protest rally. I forget what day. We'll say it was May 13th. Last week sometime. And it was organized by the professors' union. The faculty union said that so they're protesting about the raise in administration fees, which have gone up by 39%, while faculty fees or faculty salaries have not gone up in kind. So just a couple quotes from this article here. There's been an increase in the number of administrators at Cal Poly from 160 in 2013 to 239 in 2014. And the average annual salary for administrators at Cal Poly is $107,000 compared to only $31,000 for lecturers, who make up 40% of the teaching body, and then about $80,000 on average for all professors. So Haley, I know you've wanted to work at Cal Poly. Did you realize they made such little money?
No.
Yeah. So I guess Cal Poly faculty members finally received a raise of about $80 a month last year, and that was their first raise in 6 years.
Wow.
And then they got another raise this year of 1.6%, with some of the lower paid faculty members getting a 3% raise. But I guess according to this article, Professor Armstrong is aware of the issue, and he said that he's agreed to set aside $2.5 million for faculty and staff pay increases over the next 4 years. But he says that's not enough, and I guess he's working to get more money for staff or for the professors. But I guess most of the new management positions are in fundraising.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's 80 new admin positions, most of them in fundraising.
Well, no one really goes into teaching for the money.
True.
Well, yeah, but you'd think at the college level, I mean, you'd think there'd be some money there.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're still probably significantly underpaid across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't value education at any level, I think, as much as we should.
Right. Well,
But, I don't know. I didn't get a raise for 6 years, so...
Well, but what do you think about the admin versus professors, right? So
there was a 3% increase on average, let's say, for the faculty, but then 43% pay increase for management. And they hired 63 new administrators at a salary of $107,000. So,
yeah, that seems a little off base, unless there was a bunch of administrators retiring, and so maybe they needed to try to attract new people. I don't know. It is a very expensive area to live in, too. So, I mean, if you compare like cost of living there to cost of living here, I'm sure there's, disparity there. So it probably accounts for the number. But
well, but that's
yeah,
what the professors are saying, right? They're saying, hey, we need money to live here.
Yeah, and there's more professors, right? There's probably a higher population of professors and administrators, so it's harder to give them a increase in pay compared to the smaller number of administrators. I don't know.
What do you think, Q? Was the faculty strike justified? Should they stop whining and just go back and teach?
I mean, I can definitely see why they would go on strike, and maybe the overall thing that I kind of take away from it is that we didn't know it was an issue, and for them to make a protest is to kind of not only necessarily say, hey, we need a raise, but to actually make awareness of the issue. So I think they've at least achieved half of their goal in making us aware of the issue, and hopefully something gets done to kind of balance the scales a little bit. But I think what Haley said is spot on. Education is so undervalued as a whole, and I was pretty shocked to see how low the average salary was. But yeah, I don't know, Carly, were there any professors in the architecture department that had anything to say or showed any action towards this type of thing?
I haven't heard anything, actually. I had no idea this protest happened, but I haven't been on campus that very much besides studio, so I haven't really heard a lot of news, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Q. They did. The point of the strike was to bring attention to the issue, and they did that. And it seems like President Armstrong is trying to work towards a solution. So we'll just have to watch and see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but $30,000 for a lecturer, that really explains why so many Cal Poly lecturers keep their day jobs and only teach a couple, couple classes and then go back.
Maybe one other thing to keep in mind is that in order to become, a professor of some sort, I think you do have to have, some qualifications, and some people prefer just to be a lecturer. So, let's say for me, even if I were licensed, if I don't have my master's, I don't think I can become a professor per se. I can only be a lecturer. So I'm sure people could move up the ladder if they were to get the proper qualifications. And I know that's another discussion on its own, but yeah, thanks for adding that to the show notes and for making us aware of it as well.
Well, I think I'd like to see our professors and faculty paid more because they do really work hard. Like you're saying, Tom DeSanto, he's everywhere. That man is everywhere. I hope he's one of the higher paid people. And Margot, for that matter. She really works hard, has for years. Okay, so next story, we've got the Pritzker Prize awarded, and I have to thank Haley several years ago for making me aware that this award even existed. So thank you, Haley, for that.
Did you see that they were televising it live, too?
No, I missed that. Did you watch it?
No, I wasn't able to watch it, but I saw it in one of my news feeds that they were televising it, which that was pretty cool. Hopefully, bringing more public awareness to the award and the program and the importance of architecture and that design matters.
Yeah. Well, this year was unique in that the award was actually given out posthumously, which the award is for living architects, but sadly, so the award was announced. Frere Otto was notified. He's a German architect and engineer, and he was notified that he would be the recipient in January, but then he just died on March 9th, just before his 90th birthday. So the ceremony took on a bit of a different twist, and that it was also a celebration of his life. And there were some really neat things they did here. They recreated in the front of the venue a white 4-point tensile tent that he designed back in 1955. And I guess he led the way for the development of lightweight structures. And I had a picture here somewhere of it. But I'll just read this paragraph real quick. So Tom Pritzker, chairman and president of the Hyatt Foundation, which sponsors the $100,000 prize, showed a videotaped interview with Otto made in February when the laureate declared, quote, "You see a happy man. My only dream, the oldest dream of humanity in time, is to give paradise to everyone. Otto promised presciently, I don't know how many years I have, but I will work every day." And it's unquote. It says the architect's humanitarian mission was underscored by Otto's daughter, Christine Otto Kingskinger, who studied architecture at the University of Stuttgart and collaborated with her father for 32 years. Accepting the prize for Otto, she said that he wanted to build not for eternity, but for living people. So I thought that was really neat. And I think it'd be awesome if one of my kids worked with me for 32 years.
Wow.
I've been trying to convince my kids to study architecture and to learn the trade. So far, a couple of them have shown interest. So we will see what happens. But what a really neat tribute, and that's awesome that his daughter is also worked with him and was able to be there to accept the award for him. I think that's really neat. Have any of you studied or looked at anything that Otto's done over the past? Are you familiar with his work?
I'm somewhat familiar with some of his work. I don't know if I came across his work originally, maybe in the art history classes that I took back at Cal Poly, but I definitely knew the name. I know he's a little bit older, and so I don't consider all of his works to be, things that have gone up more recently. But I do really admire the kind of tensile structures that he's designed and put forth, and I think I'm always really interested in these architect engineers that kind of have such a adept background at both, and I think some of the quotes that were mentioned and were read by you, Tim, were really nice. The fact that he was designing for people now, as important or as necessary it is to design for the future and for later. I think the fact that he really was trying to do something for the present time was kind of admirable in its own right.
Right, and I believe he did do quite a bit of humanitarian work as well, especially in his later years. So, moving on. Oh, my favorite time of the show.
Do we have the music?
Did that work? I can't hear it.
I can hear it a little bit in the background.
I think it worked. So, Haley, I think I finally found something that is worthy of being on the show. You in the past have always found these most incredible materials that we've shared, and this week, this show, I have for you living concrete.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, top that. So this is this is living concrete that can heal itself, which is like the coolest thing ever. So you can read the article. It's in the show notes. But what they've done is they've put bacteria in here that produce limestone. And so the challenge was, how do you get bacteria to survive in concrete? It's a harsh environment, it's dry, it's very alkaline, and it's got to stay dormant for years. And then what they do here is you add water, and inside the concrete they've mixed in calcium lactate, and little capsules of that. So when the concrete gets wet, the calcium, they're in little biodegradable plastic things, and so it biodegrades, the calcium gets released, the bacteria feed on that, they produce limestone and fill in the cracks that appear in the concrete.
Wow.
So is that...
Is this real? Does this really happen?
It's on the internet, Haley.
Okay.
So here's a picture, okay?
I
So
know.
a
I
cra-
went through the whole slideshow, and
Yeah.
I went like this the whole time. Huh? Did you see my face?
I did, yes. Okay, look, Haley, it's on the internet, CNN, they never lie, we know that. So there's
Of course not.
a crack forms, water comes in
Right.
here, that activates the bacteria, they produce little limestone, it heals itself,
Little limestone.
and then, look at that, just, it's like it never happened. See, here's a picture of the bacteria working their magic. Right there.
That's a real life picture. They put a camera, a tiny camera.
A microscope.
So Tim, would you use a material like this? Would you spec this as concrete for your next project?
That's a good question. Okay, so I think it needs to have some more testing done, but I will let
Maybe.
someone else try it first. How about Carly? Carly, you go.
What?
We can
You-
test the concrete in the Philippines, maybe.
Yeah, I'm actually specing concrete for my entire building, so and if it's typhoon resistant, then that sounds great.
It'll be
Yeah, I
perfect
think-
after you get some cracking when storm blows through and get some the cracks to self-repair.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was looking at that article. Is this would be perfect for my project? Just depends on how much it costs.
Yeah, so cost is a factor, and also like
Free!
Haley's saying,
It's free, you guys. It's
Perfect.
amazing. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
so cost, and also like Haley's saying, if it's legit, I mean, if they can really produce it, then I think it'd be awesome. Especially if you
No,
think,
I-
of, if you
I
think about
was
like,
thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just say floors, especially where you might get an unsightly crack, something like that.
Hmm.
But from the pictures that I saw, even the repaired cracks weren't very sightly.
Well, that's true. You still do have a crack. It's a slightly different color. You have to paint
You know,
it.
I was thinking, I thought I learned in structures that, where you begin to have cracks is where it'll continue to crack. So even if it heals itself, what happens if it cracks again?
Keep scabbing over.
Well, that is an interesting question because you're right, Q. That is the weak spot in the concrete, so it's going to want to continue to fracture. But maybe, like Carly says, it just keeps scabbing over and it's no longer an issue. I don't know. Time will tell. Carly's going to do some experimentation, then we'll find out.
Okay.
It's gonna let us know.
Yes. So two more stories we've got for tonight. I'm sure everyone's heard about the devastating earthquakes that have happened in Nepal, and Archinect published a story about how architects can help. Carly, do you want to talk to us about this article a bit?
Sure. Well, post-disaster architecture is something that I'm really passionate about, especially recently with my thesis project dealing with disaster relief. And the phases, this article outlines the phases of emergency relief and recovery in dealing with disasters like these Nepal earthquakes. And it kind of talks about how architects can help in each of these phases by like providing materials and designs that can be easily transported or assembled in areas that have been affected, and even throughout recovery and helping people to kind of recuperate and let's see. It's also kind of a call to action. What I found in this article, like it says, taking no action is the same as making an architectural no comment, and like whether it's donating, helping out planning, just setting aside some time to volunteer. I think it's really important for architects and designers to provide their knowledge that's really valuable in places that need help in recovering after a disaster. So I was just really inspired by this article, and but I hope that a lot of other people read it and were also inspired, and professionals specifically. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
I liked how it broke down an emergency into a couple phases. So they've got the emergency phase, the relief phase, and then the recovery phase. And they, like you said, they had some calls to action, some things that architects can do in each of those phases. Whether it's in the emergency phase, it's just donating money, right? They just need to get supplies on the ground, get things there. And then also, like I showed that picture earlier of the curtains, you've got creating some temporary emergency shelters, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the relief phase where you have short-term housing, inspection of existing historical structures. I also like how they give examples of how different disasters architects have helped out in these situations. And then the recovery phase, which that's really the rebuilding, and that takes much longer. And that's, I think, where, in fact, they talk about architecture for humanity, which we've talked about on the show before, and how they're no longer in business, which is a shame. But
well, and I think it's an opportunity that a lot of AI chapters kind of mobilize in situations like this, locally. Like when Sandy hit, a lot of the chapters on the East Coast spent a lot of time and effort kind of mobilizing and helping in these different realms of response work. And it is unfortunate with Architecture for Humanity no longer being in existence, but hopefully those individuals that were really active will find other avenues and outlets to still stay involved and stay engaged, and hopefully it will, the intent of the work will continue even if the organization is no longer in existence.
Right. I also there's actually a good comment as well in the article by Will Galloway, and he said that the real trick is for architects to still be there and engaged 2, 4, 5 years after the disaster, when communities are finally out of the survival stage and they're really ready to rebuild. He gives an example, I guess, of his experience in Japan after the tsunamis, and how a lot of well-meaning architects and architecture studios came in to try to help, but they were there short-lived. They moved on, and the communities got burned out by well-meaning architects who weren't really there for the long haul.
Yeah.
So I think that's another part as well. And I think, Carly, you've kind of seen that maybe a little bit with your thesis project as well, how you have to stick through the whole project. You can't just come in and do a little design study and then leave, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, your project's really getting built, right?
Yeah, we're trying to break ground within the next couple months and have the structure up by the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, that's so exciting. It's very cool.
So exciting.
Yeah, it's crazy, but amazing. I have faith that we can do it.
So are you going to be heading back to the Philippines before the end of the year?
I hope so. I'm thinking I'm going to try as much as I can. God willing, with funds to get
right.
there.
That's always the big problem.
Get some money.
So our last topic for tonight, we're circling back to a topic we had, I guess, about a month ago now, talking a little bit more about the American Board of Architecture. And Haley, you had sent me a little note that you had some insight or some thoughts about it. You weren't on the show when we were talking about it last.
No.
Just to recap on what this is, in case people missed the last show. So there is a school of architecture that set up shop in Sacramento, and they're claiming to be accredited by the American Board of Architecture. And when you look into it, and kind of just what I've found, the American Board of Architecture is funded by this one man who's also instrumental in funding the school. So he started a school and then started a board of architecture to accredit his own school. what other information do you have, Haley, or is that a pretty good summation of what's going on?
Well, I have some information I can't say on air, but I will say what
Oh,
information I can
of
say on
course, of course.
air. This is not real. This is like so infuriating, and I challenge the people that are behind this to come and knock on my door. And I
The
will
gauntlet
fight you.
has been dropped.
I will fight you in the street.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, this is a problem, like a huge problem, and there's a lot more that we can talk about off the air. But yeah, this is not real.
So when
anybody
you say it's
who's like calling them, or I mean, I'm curious if anybody's called them, if they've actually gotten a response. Notice how they don't have a phone number listed anywhere? I don't know. Does anybody think that's suspect? I do.
Yes, I did notice the American Board of Architecture does not have a phone number. Yes.
Right. And did you notice that there's no like individuals listed anywhere? Right? Like there's no like if you click on the Board of Examiners, it's like some other BS explanation, which it's not even like it doesn't even answer the question.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
So what about
it's a lovely website, but it's malarkey.
So what about the Adroit School of Architecture then that has opened up shop in Sacramento, and with locations coming soon in New York, Tennessee, Arizona, and other places?
That's great. Let's see if that ever happens.
So have you heard of anybody actually going to this school?
No.
Okay. Because
there's no school. There's no school.
So I understand you have information that you can't say on the air. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you can't answer it, just say no comment. Is this all just a scam to get people's money, or is there something else going on?
I would say probably both, but I mean, I think that the people / person who's behind this really believes in it, but I would strongly discourage anyone from jumping on their bandwagon. And if somebody is enrolled in their school, then please reach out to me and correct me if I'm wrong, and I would be happy to, publicly go on air and apologize. But this is just really, I think it's a lot of false advertisement, and it's dangerous to use words like board and accreditation and licensing when none of those things are regulated by other people, and those people are not related to this make-believe role of the American Board of Architecture. So yeah.
So the founder of both of these, and you have to do some
digging to even figure out who it is.
Some real digging to figure it out. Yeah, it's Umber Cosme.
Yeah.
Who is also associated with the
Funkar.
Oh, thank you. How do you? Well, you've got this on the tip of your tongue. Yes, Funkar, the Funkar Studios.
Yeah, which were a series of ARE prep seminars and courses that people attended. I'm like choosing my words very carefully. Yeah, it's I don't know if they're still doing them anywhere.
Yeah, I can kind of guess just from my experience with the profession where you're kind of heading with that. So, well, good. Well, we'll leave it with that. Just everyone.
Yeah. So anybody listening,
buyer
like,
beware.
if you go to this school, please
Let us know.
we would love
Holler.
to talk to you.
We won't
But,
hate you because you're from Cal Poly.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that nobody really goes to this school, and it's a make-believe place in La La Land.
I would also like to just point out that Umber Cosme, who on the board of directors for Android School is claiming to be a registered architect, is not registered in the state of California. So that's
fun.
Nor has never been, as of today. No records pop up. So unless there's a alias that they're going by, that's also an issue that is a problem.
Right. So again, in La La Land, I guess we're all registered architects. But here in the real world, it doesn't work like that. So if anybody's signed up as a member too, if you've submitted your membership to the ALP, which was free until May 1st, and now it's $100 annually, or you can be a corporate member for $500. And you can use ABA after your name upon joining. Please contact us and let us know what was in your welcome packet. I'd love to know. I'm tempted to sign up just to see what happens.
Yeah, man, I wish we'd signed up before May 1st.
I know,
I
right?
didn't realize that. Actually, I don't want them to have my name.
Yeah, I have a feeling you couldn't sign up before May 1st. And maybe now all of a sudden you can be a member and it's conveniently after May 1st.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Yeah, interesting. The plot thickens.
Yeah,
Dun,
it's
dun,
interesting.
dun.
There's a lot of words on this website and a lot of claims, and it's a little dangerous to make some of these claims. Again, using words like licensing and board and accreditation. Those words have meaning.
So Haley,
and
do you think it's
ahead.
dangerous for the potential student or person who's looking to get licensed being brought into something that's not legit? That's where the danger is, right?
Yes.
Beyond
absolutely.
that, I don't think there's a significant danger to the public. Right?
No, I mean, I think it's just misrepresentation.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're a consumer or, a colleague, I think, these words have meaning and they have implications, and it's, I think it's just irresponsible to think that you can create something as an alternative, which is probably very exciting for a lot of people, to think that there's an alternative path, and that may be upset with, a state licensing board given their situation or circumstances, or upset with NCARB, and, looking for an alternative. One would think that based on the composition of this website that this is a viable option. And I think we are all savvy enough to know that it doesn't work like that. And other people, whether it be the public or, a new student or somebody looking to join the profession as a second career, may not know that. And I think that's a little dangerous and irresponsible and somewhat false advertisement.
Yep, I would agree. Well, on that note, let's wrap up the show so we can have the off-the-air conversation and find out all the dirt. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Dead silence. Where's my cricket button?
I Debbie downed the episode, huh?
Yes.
Maybe just another reminder that we'll be down in San Luis Obispo this Saturday.
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to end the show on. Yes, we will be there. Come and say hi to us at the Chumash Show. Bring your wallets. Bring us cash. We're trying to get a scholarship program going. And unlike the Funkar Institute and the ABA, we are legit. We are here. We have phone numbers. My phone number is, look up my website.
867-5309.
Yes, if you go to my company's website, you can find my phone number. I am Googleable. Googleable. Yes. So thanks again, Carly, for being on the show and for taking the time off of your busy week in Chumash prep.
Sure.
Thank you, Haley, for taking a break before your big birthday bash.
Thanks, Haley.
And
Thanks, guys.
thank you, Q. And we will see everyone at
And thank you,
Chumash.
Tim.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, guys.